All right, welcome back. Sorry for the audio issues we had previously. All right, we have Dr. Henry Ewunonu, now public health consultant. Dr. Ewunonu, I don't know if you can hear me now. Can you speak to me?
I can hear you. I can hear you
Fantastic,
now.
fantastic. So, I was asking before about, the CBN's 100 billion naira intervention fund, for the healthcare as a sector. I want you to, paint a picture of the impact so far, and the accessibility to these funds.
Well, thank you for having me. I think you permit me to give a line on the first question you put forward.
Right.
Which is the state of the health sector in Nigeria. It is not something we are proud of. From every ranking system, Nigeria has not done well. To make it worse, all the 6 pillars with which health is evaluated globally, the 6 building blocks of health system strengthening in Nigeria is scoring abysmally low in all this. To worsen it, we don't have the resources to up our game. To make it worse again, we have epidemiological jeopardies. We are battling with existing infections because that's what is killing our people, infections. Then there are re-emerging infections, and we are now acquiring the disease of the white man, those non-communicable diseases. Today we are hearing that people are having heart attacks. When I was in medical school, we were told that heart attacks are rare in the Africans. So the health sector is in a terrible state, point of precipice. That's it. So it needs urgent rescue. And that was why in March 2020, the Central Bank of Nigeria had to make that intervention. First of all, they realized that whatever that is needed to help Nigeria cope with the pandemic was lacking. Again, there are these statistics that Nigerians were spending up to $1.5 billion about for medical treatment. And the reason that if we now provide better healthcare facilities at home, if we retain our very highly trained professionals here, perhaps that $1.5 billion spent abroad for medical treatment could be retained in-house. So they decided to say, let us plow it back into our system to help with manufacturing of those things we need, medical equipment, drugs, and vaccines. That was the reason why for this CBN intervention. Dr. Jimmy, my colleague on this program, will be better because being a private health practitioner, he will know. But my research says whereas some people, some industry players like the pharmaceutical companies can say, yes, they've accessed these funds. It has not been easy for the ordinary private healthcare professional that owns one private clinic, 20-bedded hospital, 30-bedded hospital, 10-bedded hospital, to access these funds. There are many checkpoints on the road, and time is fast racing. There is a ceiling on the amount of money that can be withdrawn or the credit facility that can be given. It is domiciled in Naira. Every day, the foreign exchange rate is changing, making nonsense of that amount. No particular organization or individual can access more than 2 billion naira as a term loan. Even those who just want upgrade of their facilities as some other, because there are several tenures in this loan. 500 million naira is just a ceiling. So if the exchange, consider what the exchange rate was in March 2020, consider what it is now. So time is going. There are many, because there are medium, whatever you want to do.
All right, Dr. Ewunonu. Another issue, again, is health insurance. There were reports, that healthcare providers were planning to, jettison all contracts with private health insurance companies across the country. What's the state of that issue right now?
As you know, we have not been able to say exactly how much lives have been insured by the National Health Insurance Scheme. But there are other forms of insurance. Some private insurance companies are also insuring lives. By and large, the only way, since we are discussing in the context of the CBN interventions, the only way to make these interventions worthwhile is to create more markets. If we have more individuals that will seek Medicare, that can afford it, that can access it easily, that have where to go to access it, the more they will utilize the health services, the more funds could be recouped to repay back, and the more funds will be available for others to utilize the credit facilities. The health insurance, since 2005, it was launched in Nigeria, we have not gone beyond 5% of Nigerians. It's still a public sector based. And the act, the amendment bill is awaiting Mr. President's consent. Let me use the opportunity again to call on the presidency to please ensure that this bill that will now make health insurance compulsory in Nigeria is signed without any further delay. Other countries have achieved this. Nigeria started this health insurance at the same time with Ghana. Ghana has done over 85%. Nigeria is hovering below 5%. This is not good news. So the more we have number of people that can access, that have removed financial encumbrances, from accessing medical care, the more the number of people that these funds made available will become very useful to.
All right, then I'd also like to ask you, the role of banks, when it comes to disbursement of these funds, the interventions by the CBN.
Yes, like I pointed out, CBN created the role for what they call participating financial institutions. These participating financial institutions are deposit money banks or development financial institutions, and they are profit-oriented enterprises. So what I don't know is whether CBN has factored their own profits into this. For instance, if I run a private hospital and I want 500 million from the CBN fund, how much of this will be taken out as interest to the commercial bank, my bank, because no individual can go straight to CBN. You have to go through a commercial bank or another financial institution. What will be their profits? What will be their own, in the Nigerian sense, the cut from this? So wherever there are middlemen, there are encumbrances that will ensure that the end beneficiary gets less than what he should get. That's right. My answer to this.
All right, Dr. Harry Owonon. Well, a report, from about 2018 showed that over 90% of Nigerians, pay for health services out of pocket, and it would be necessary to change that and reverse that situation. Dr. Harry Owonon, a public health consultant, I want to thank you so much for coming on Business Morning.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And also, Dr. Adeyeye Aribabu, we had issues with you there, but thank you also for coming in earlier.